Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Echo Underground podcast. I'm Mike,
I'm Shanique.
and on this podcast, we talk about movies, TV shows, music, whatever else we find interesting at the time. We're open. We got some open options here. We're pretty fluid. Okay, moving on. This week's podcast is on the recently released movie. I think just yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, the sequel to the original Kingsman that came out not too long ago as well. Which are both hella good movies. The first one, stood out because of good characters like Samuel L. Jackson and good scenes such as that legendary church scene. But yeah, moving on. This movie was in my opinion, pretty damn good. Not as good as the first, but I think it's only because the shock factor wasn't there of the first. Like it was such a new area of movie to go in. Like we don't really see too many super over the top British movies when we think about it, other than 007, but I'm pretty sure he monopolized that market. But as far as this goes, though, I'll watch this any day. This movie is like rejuvenating action scenes for me in a weird way. Like I feel like the weird camera work and like fast forward motion that they do throughout the action scenes really works. So I'm in their favor, and I feel like the story's cohesive enough for me to give a fuck. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll be down to see if this is like a trilogy or like a ongoing thing. Maybe it's its own universe. Who knows? But yeah, that's my take on it. Shanique, what do you think?
You didn't give your grade.
I give this movie an A minus.
A minus. All right, I'm gonna give this movie a B plus. I thought it was decent, but not like the greatest movie. There were times where I really don't remember too much of the first one, oddly enough. Besides like the church scene and Samuel Jackson. And I forgot that woman he was with in that movie.
Well, there's also the chick with the blade skates or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think that was the woman he was with.
Okay.
Yeah. And this one, I felt like, the villain was creepy. And, actually, funny enough, one of the things that killed it for me, I didn't like the Elton John cameo. I just was, annoyed by him. I got the point, though. A guy who's supposed to be funny, but he rarely made me laugh. So I was just I really didn't care for him. It was of all the celebrities to kidnap, you some reason chose Elton John, and we never know why she chose Elton John.
Well,
he was just there.
Why did she just design a small village-looking location in the mountain as a 1950s place? Like, clearly she ain't in the right state of mind. So
no, I mean she explained that at least. She said she wanted to be reminded of home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she did it. She just explained that. She never explained why she kidnapped Elton John. So I was like, okay, he's there. He's randomly there. He plays the piano every now and again, and he's a prisoner. We don't even know why him. If you could literally replace his character with anyone else, and the movie would still work. So I don't think he brought anything to the movie. He was just annoying the shit out of me during the entire movie. He did have one good scene, which I'll get into later, and I was like, okay, it's funny. I fuck with you, Elton John. That's the only scene I fucked with him on. And then overall, I'll get into favorite characters and stuff like that, but there were a lot of good cameos in this movie. Elton John was not one of them, in my opinion, that I thought really made the movie work. But I still think the first one was better, because overall the story was better, and not acting's decent through both of them, but I just think story-wise the first one was better, which is why that one got an A versus this one getting a B+. Almost an A minus. Not quite there. So, Michael, favorite character?
See, this is a interesting one to narrow down, because I have
not the cameos, just
I know, but I was like, oh man. You know what's crazy? My favorite action scenes in this movie have nothing to do with the main character. They're almost all exclusively one of the bad guys, and I'm actually using him as my favorite character because of how well he carried the scenes and his character. But the cowboy guy. Oh shoot, I'm my favorite character. I don't even know his damn name. Whiskey. That's right.
Or Tequila, the one with the lasso.
No. Tequila is the one who got the drug.
Yeah, but he also was a
Whiskey,
cowboy guy.
Well, so. Yeah, Whiskey was the one with the whip. Yes.
Yeah.
Whiskey was cool. Even though he was kind of an asshole. Spoiler alert, by the way. He was kind of an asshole in the movie, but I really like this guy's character. He pulled off the whole Southern gentleman charm bullshit really well, and I also thought that it's been a while since I've seen a really good character in a movie use a whip as a weapon.
Lasso,
whip, whatever.
He was
and I was
wreck
like,
you. Say lasso.
He's dead. So
Doesn't matter. Whiskey.
So
Respect whiskey.
Listen, man, I liked how he carried it. Here's another reason why he's my favorite. And it's about Poppy. Now, Poppy, I get it. Like she's like clearly a powerful character, clearly deranged in her head, and will like throw you into a meat grinder if you cross her. Okay, sure, I get it. You're technically the main antagonist of the movie, but I found Whiskey and Charlie Hesketh as better antagonists for me, only because of how much of a bitch she went down later in the movie. Like,
I mean, she had no
everything
power.
set up. I mean, I get that. Like, she can't fight. I get that. But it's like, the movie could have handled her going out a little bit better. Like, okay, I'm just going to put some heroin in you and overdose. I'm like, okay, I get it.
I mean, that was the logical way to do it.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I understand it. Like, she's a drug peddler and now she's getting her taste of her own medicine. I see the theme there, which is pretty cool. But outside of like the early parts of the 2 parts of the movie that I think that she was actually like an antagonist to me and she was badass was when she threw the one guy into a meat grinder and had the other guy eaten by dogs. Other than that, I don't really know how I felt about it. Like the whole TV thing, I was like, ooh, what, super villain hasn't done that move already? Or at the end of the movie where it's like, I'm just going to command my guards to do shit. If you get through them, you won. Because I myself cannot do anything.
And that's also what brought the movie down for me. They didn't really have a challenge killing the villain. I mean, yeah, they had to fight them people. Mm-hmm. But that, and then the dogs and stuff. And then for some reason, Elton John's there.
And the hairdresser, which I thought they could have used even more. Cause I thought the hairdresser was bad and then she got blown up immediately. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
She's a robot. And then.
Yeah, but I kind of wanted to see more of that, man. Like that would have been some nice thing to expand on. But the movie's fine regardless.
That's like another thing that brought it down. I did not like the way they get the bad guys. It's something I hate about Doctor Strange. It's what I hate about this movie. And, of course, the Elton John cameo. I really did not like that shit at all. Sorry, Elton. I do like Crocodile Rock, but not you in this movie.
But let's put my 2 cents in here. I loved Elton John in this movie.
He was fucking annoying.
I thought he was great.
On that annoying shit. I didn't like... The humor was supposed to be, he's captured, he's Elton John, doing these random ass things. That humor never works on me. I don't care what movie it is. It's not built for me. But favorite character is Merlin for me.
Okay.
In this movie, he was very calm-headed, even when Eggsy was like losing his fucking mind. And he was a friend to Harry. He was a very good guide, and spoiler, he does die at the end. But he goes out the way he wants to, because he realizes better if they go on without him than him going out there, because he was mostly, for the most part, just a tech guy. And so I like that he sacrificed himself to save the people. Save the country, essentially, and his friends.
The world, when you think about it.
Yeah, the world as well. So I personally like them. I only said country because they only really focus on the United States. Yeah. So that's why I said that. Excuse my stomach, guys. But, yeah, and since you named a villain as one of your favorite characters, I'm going to name my favorite villain. And actually, I did like Poppy. Here's why I liked her. One, she was oddly very political. Which normally I'm like, oh, villains don't like that. And she explained, she's like, oh, I can't get my shit legalized, so I don't have to hide and shit. But you legalize sugar, which kills you. You legalize tobacco, which kill you. You legalize alcohol, which kill you. I think she got a little pig-headed, thinking no one could find her. And that's usually what kills every villain like this. They get so cocky that they think no one could find her. And her weak point was Charlie, oddly enough, and his weak point was his girlfriend. And so I like that she was very smart and political about a reason why she asked for something might seem over the top, but not as stupid as people who rule of the free world. She just wanted this shit legalized and immunity. Very realistic goals.
Very true. I give her that.
And that's what I liked. I did also think she had a lot of badass scenes where again, she ordered that guy to kill the friend. I liked her dogs. They're worse. They're worse than normal dogs because they're robots, so you're gonna die instantly the moment they bite you.
The scene with the dogs in Anthill was also pretty dope too.
Yeah, and I liked that she made all her informants get the Golden Circle, but again, that also backfired because then they were able to figure out who worked for her. And what's another scene I like? I like her talking to the president as well. Even though, I'm going to give him an honorable mention as villain, even though I don't think he was supposed to be, was the fucking president of the United States in this movie. Yeah. He was the definition of a piece of shit. Now, I get his purpose. He had the same mentality as Whiskey. Fuck them drug users, let them die. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking about it, like, even the people who are, told by their doctors, like cancer patients and shit, would die. Because they use marijuana and stuff. Some of them, not all. Not co-signing, but some of them do. And so, like, those people die. And I got what she was saying, but I don't know, his Secretary of State or something was trying to speak for the people who use it, who are not, like, addicts and shit. But he was like, fuck them, die, and then I'll win the war on drugs. Very political goal. Actually, oddly enough, it was logical and not logical at the same time. It was logical because, like, oh, man, I can win the war on drugs if people are afraid to use drugs. And all these people die. But it was kind of not logical because you're not thinking about all the people
just got caught in the crossfire of it.
Yeah, exactly. You're not thinking about the collateral damage. Actually, he thought about it and said, fuck it. So that's why he goes on my piece of shit list.
Even when one of the ladies on his cabinet. Yeah.
But she was honestly, I'm not sure if she was saying that for all the people or really herself. Because she was using drugs too. Here's
where she made a dumb mistake. The problem already existed of the whole, like, hey, we know this drug is doing a bad thing. And then the next scene she's in, we found out she smoked. Like, we talked about this.
No, I think she was smoking beforehand. And that's why she was pushing so hard. And then, like, it finally started showing signs.
Maybe.
Because that makes more sense. Because she's too smart. I wouldn't think she'd see the broadcast and, like, I'm going to smoke the shit anyway.
Here's why I'm saying this. Because Charlie's girlfriend was at the music festival. And she smoked at that point, and then she got caught with the shit. So if she was, if the president was smoking way before that, she would already have blue veins.
But here's my thing.
Because the story doesn't really tell you how long Poppy's been going on with her whole little, poisoning the drug supply thing. So
yeah, and like it could be a thing like some poison act faster depending on who it is.
Maybe
it could be one of those things because some people were fine, and then the next scene, because we saw the girlfriend smoke. And then it took a while for her to get the blue.
No, it was the next day.
Yeah, but like, no, was it the next day?
Yeah, because remember, he was calling her on the phone the night when he fingered the girl at the music festival. And the next day is when he FaceTimed her when she finally called back and she had blue veins. So at that point, I'm like, okay, clearly it takes like 24 hours for it to start acting on stage 1.
Well, I don't think it's like... Well, then the secretary could have smoked before that announcement came up. And then she would have been fucked.
Hey...
I'm just saying, she could have been fucked if she smoked before she saw the announcement.
I mean, okay, let's say that's the case. Why not say something at that point either way? And that's just saying. And this is a case where it's like we can't even guarantee one, the timeline of how fast the drug works in different people, and 2, when the last time she actually smoked.
Okay, well, if you were her, the president reads there and he says, "Oh, fuck them, I'll let them die." Are you gonna admit you smoked after that?
I mean, I may as well, because you're gonna find out like tomorrow and still lock me up anyway.
I mean,
if I really thought that, I would just not come into work. That's all I'll be doing. Fuck if I want a cabinet, y'all go to send the fucking service to find me. Fuck that noise.
Well, I think she was trying to like. Maybe she's like, oh, let me push real hard and maybe he'll believe it. But no, the president was a freaking asshole.
Listen, all I gotta say right now is, if I was a pothead watching this movie, I'd be side-eyeing my drugs real quick. Like, all right, yo, hold up. I think I feel a rash coming on. Hold up.
Yeah, she got every sort of drug except for prescription, I believe.
Yeah. I think pretty much just the illegal, the stuff that was illegal pretty much.
Well, yeah, legal in some states. The only thing, like, if it's legalized in, like, what state has it legalized? I think Missouri or some shit.
Nevada. I think California has it legalized medically.
Yeah. Like, those people, they're fucked. Because she did it marijuana and all this stuff. I think, here's my thing. Poppy, like, I'm going to go back and say why. Poppy was very logical in what she wanted. She didn't have unrealistic goals. That's one of, like, the side eyes I give a lot of villains. They always want unrealistic
world
things.
Domination. Why?
Yeah, like always unrealistic things. And they expect to hold the world hostage on. She was very smart on how she did it. Mm-hmm. She just got really cocky. And she was too trustworthy of Charlie. Because he didn't seem that smart. At all.
Yeah, Charlie was still looking out for his girl, which is where he went wrong. But that got rectified.
Yeah, and his girl was stupid anyway.
Yeah.
Like, he told her, don't do drugs. And she was like, "Oh, it's a music festival." Well, you know, you deserve what happened.
Yeah, I'm mad at her for the same reason I'm mad at that lady in the cabinet, because she literally got actually told. She's the one person in the movie outside that lady in the cabinet. Forgot her name as well too. But
They
like, you were actually told, and her excuse was, it was a music festival. Like, bitch, you will die.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That was so dumb. But that's the only thing that killed Poppy. She got too cocky. And, like, I knew if they got to her, she would die instantly because she had no military training. Mm-hmm. And she's depending on her dogs and Charlie and her, like, her people to defend her. So I knew once they got that, she was dead. I knew there was no action scene available for her. She was so cocky. She did not believe they would pass her defenses. So she didn't make a plan B.
Yep.
If I was her, which I would be like, if I die, just let the shit go.
Yeah.
Just destroy the shit. But she didn't think about that. She was like, you know what? I'm not going to die. No one's going to get to me. And that's her weakness. She was too full of herself. But she was still a good villain. And she's creepy. And I like, for this movie and the, like, over-the-topness of this movie, she was perfect for this movie.
Yep.
Just like Samuel Jackson was perfect in last time. He was over-the-top as fuck. Mm-hmm. But he was perfect for this. Another thing, I forgot how he killed Harry at the end of the first one. I knew Harry got shot, but I didn't know he got shot in the eye. I thought it was like
I thought in the head too. Yeah.
Well, it was in the head, just not. Like, I thought right above the eye.
When I say head, I'm talking like middle of your skull, cranium type shit. Like,
I didn't know it was like in the fucking eye through his shit. So, okay. So we did our, I guess, your favorite villain and your favorite character, same thing. Yeah. So, cameo, I actually like Channing Tatum as Tequila. He fucked them up when they walked up in there. Then trying to burn their balls, right?
Yep.
And then was like, "Oh, my bad, I was doing my job." And I was like, "Nigga, what?" He wasn't a villain. And the Statesmen weren't a villain. They just,
do things their way.
Yeah, they had a lot of money. Anyway, and then I like Ginger, which is Halle Berry's character. Mm-hmm. She was really smart, and I could see her being a badass agent in the future. She was very smart. She might need to toughen up a little bit, but she was pretty good.
Considering how the last tech guy went out in the field, hopefully she had some better luck, because it was his first time out in the field, and it wasn't even his fault. Like, he was just being heroic, because really it was technically the young Galahad's fault.
Yep.
So he should. I don't know, man. I feel some kind of way about him going out, but he did go out like a boss though.
Yeah. And Merlin was doing it for years. He was a tech guy for years. And he loved his job. He loved being a tech guy. Yeah, Ginger was like, right. You know what?
I want to do more.
And she took the chance. And I think she does have some type of skill, because they wouldn't just be like, oh, you can do it. Mm-hmm. And so those two are my favorite cameos. Any other cameos? Or did...
I guess we can talk about Elton John's later scenes.
Fuck that game.
I figured Elton John's job in the beginning of the movie was just to be pissed and say "fuck you, lady, fuck you," and that's pretty much all he did for the first 2 or 3 times he appears. But towards the end is where he really got funny. One when he helped with the dogs, that was pretty cool. When because the dogs wouldn't attack him, so he just puts his face in front of the dog, and it didn't want to kill Harry. And the other one where he beat the shit out of these 2 guys. Clearly, this was meant to be over the top, fucking absurd and stupid, but it was so cool. And they even slow-moed the picture down, and had him turn toward the camera, have a glint in his teeth, and wink. And Jill, at this point, I'm just like, you guys just having fun with the movie now, which I appreciate. I'm pretty sure Elton John had a fun time with the movie as well. So you know what? Screw it. And he looks as ridiculous as I imagine him looking too. So. That also kind of sold him for me as well. One thing I do want to say, though, there was a point early in the movie where I didn't even connect the dots, really. When Galahad's friend was babysitting the dog, there was a poster on the wall that said Elton John was missing. With some Time magazine or some shit. When he was messing around with the things on his table and found out that he's like a super agent or whatever. Which, by the way, that scene was fucking stupid. Just put the shit down if I say put it down. What kind of lighter lights up, starts beeping, and you don't assume it's a bomb? You know what? Whatever. Elton John. I appreciate him being a cameo. That's my favorite cameo of the movie right there.
Alright, I'm going to explain exactly why I hated almost all those things you talked about. Now, first half of the movie, actually there was a scene where they were experimenting on him. Mm-hmm. Right? And she was trying to show how good the drugs were. Mm-hmm. And she used him. I actually thought he was fine in that scene. The first time we saw him with the piano, it was like, what the fuck, Elton John? Why? I was like, alright. Then we kept seeing him saying, shut the fuck up, and fuck you, Poppy, blah, 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 blah. And, like, I was like, okay. And that's another thing she did wrong. She didn't hide her identity because she was so fucking cocky. She did not hide who she was. I was like, lady, part of having a secret lair is also not using your real fucking name. But whatever. That's one thing I have to, like, minus her as. But I think that's supposed to be part of her character. Like, I'm so good you can't catch me even if you know my name.
Right.
Clearly that's not true. Another thing, the fight scene. Where did this come from? And why did the guards... First of all, they made it too easy. The guards let him beat them. Because they didn't fight back. He was just hitting them and they were like, oh, Elton, all of a sudden. And I'm like, that didn't make sense to me. So I didn't really care for that scene. But I did like the scene where, like... Which is in that scene where he, like, jumps up and, like, kicks.
Yeah,
and he smiles at the camera.
Yeah.
That was actually funny. When he smiled at the camera and winks. That was funny. I was okay with it. It was so random and what the fuck, but I was like, alright, Elton. The scene with the dogs, where he, like, put himself in front, nah, I didn't care for that at all. And she was stupid, because I would have been like, just kill that bitch. Like, I would have immediately said that.
She did do that, but she did it later, which I do agree with that, though. Like, she did, like, a whole 40 seconds.
Maybe she loved Elton John enough that she tried to give him a chance,
like,
but...
I love you, Elton John, but I gotta kill you now. I need to take over the world or whatever. Like, it's...
No. I was not, like, feeling that at all. Most of the scenes, like, and that's what brought part of the movie down. I was like, no. Oddly enough, some of X's scenes also was like, nigga, you stupid. One thing that bothered me, even though I know they have to do this for plot, was when he didn't check the car before he left Kingsman.
Yeah.
And you know, spoiler alert, he caused the Kingsman to really get fucked up because he didn't bother checking.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why they didn't, like, and Merlin called him out on it. Like, this is what fucked us over. I'm like, how you not check? You're a super...
Forgot your training, all right.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, dude. But other than that, he didn't really bother me. But if I had to pick a good guy who was also, like, a character I really like, besides Merlin, I would definitely say Harry after he got his memory back.
Yeah.
Not before.
Yeah, the butterfly Harry is pretty annoying.
He wasn't even annoying. I was just like, where are they going with this? And it's so weird to think that it's like, study butterflies or kill people. Kill people. How do you make that jump? But he did, and I like Harry when he got his memory back.
One big plus I'll also give this movie is that it starts as soon as the opening credits get out of the way, you're in the movie. You see Galahad get out in Kingsman office and have a small chat with Charlie, and the movie starts.
Yeah,
which by the way, let's talk about Charlie for a second. Charlie is apparently one of the guys who got he got tasered in the last movie.
Yeah,
and
we
the
saw
thing
that.
We did. Okay, all right. Well, yeah. But going back to what I was saying, the movie just starts immediately. Which a lot of action movies these days, like, they try to do build-ups. I'm a big fan of just having shit get to, like, 0 to 100 immediately in action movies, especially when the first action scene was so damn good. There's a car chase scene. It was him versus Charlie, and, like, he had a driver and all this shit.
It was like, okay, and, like, another, like, thing. I agree with you. I think when you do the first movie, you need build-up.
Yeah, I agree.
Sequels, no. Just throw me into the shit.
We know what we're getting ourselves into, right?
Yeah, at this point, you know what a Kingsman movie is. The only thing about the car chase scene, there was a little too much CGI at some points, but it was still a good scene. It's funny, because, like, the first part of the movie is basically the trailer.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it was basically the trailer. The trailer doesn't really give away, like, what's happening, but it was still pretty good. So I gotta give a plus on that. And that actually is the next thing. Favorite action scene. I'm gonna actually give it to the, what scene is that? The one where they get to Poppy and they're trying to make her way to the office.
Yeah.
And it's Harry and Eggsy, like, actually going against everyone. And, like, my favorite part of the scene specifically is definitely when they blow up the donut. And they use the donut to, like, shoot everyone. Yeah. I thought that was really good. And that's, like, my favorite part of that whole action sequence. It's pretty long. It's, like, the final action sequence. But that's my favorite. What's your favorite action scene?
Jeez. It's one of two, but it's like, it goes back to my main character that I like the most. Either Whiskey's final fight scene or the fight scene in, like, what country was it? Switzerland? I think it was. Whatever it was. Whatever country it was in the snow. When he said, hey, guys, give me back up, He went out there and like tore shit up. Like the slow mo in that scene was cool. I like when he whipped the guns around his finger and like shot it 3 different directions with the fucking pistol from the trailer. You probably saw that part. Everything he does with the whip in this movie from his first appearance is freaking amazing.
It's lasso, nigga.
Whatever. Anyway, the shit was cool. The shit can turn into a goddamn laser whip lasso, whatever you want to call it.
It gets electrified.
Yeah, I thought
he kills people with it.
That was dope, and I'll give a definite honorable mention to Charlie's last fight scene as well, with the mechanical arm bullshit that he was fighting Eggsy with.
Yeah, that was also in the trailer. It was actually pretty good.
One thing I did not know about that fight is makes Eggsy look so much more badass. Is he even tried to level with him? He lost the mechanical arm and only had one arm left, obviously. So he put his hand behind his back and fought him on his terms, and still killed him. Yeah,
because Charlie doesn't have, without his arm, he's really nothing.
Yeah, and it definitely gets explored with that, too. So I thought that was pretty cool for an action scene. And I'll say that my funniest scene in this movie, I have to give talk about this one, because this is so hilarious to me, was the one in Switzerland where, the ski lift was, going down the mountain to, this elderly retirement home or whatever it was. And, Eggsy and Whiskey are in the ski lift, and he deploys Whiskey's parachute to slow the ski lift down before it hits the retirement home, and it barely comes in contact with the retirement home. And the one old guy was like, "That's the first real shit I've had in 3 weeks."
He said the best shit.
Yeah, that's the best shit I've had. Yeah, you're right. That's the best shit I've had in 3 weeks. I thought that was so hilarious. One entire line made that whole action scene for me. And I was like, yeah, that's definitely the scene I'm going to come back to think of. What I left the hardest, Elton John's fly kick or that scene with the old guys?
Yeah, that scene with the old guy was pretty good. That was actually probably the funniest scene. I actually agree with you on that. Now, actually, funny enough, if we're going to go with Whiskey action scenes, the scene in the bar.
Yeah.
That's actually my favorite one, because that's when the first time you see that his whip can actually electrify. That's the first time. And then you see it again when he fights the people in Switzerland.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
He completely clean cuts one guy in half with that shit. I was like, oh damn, that's
that dude's
a little fucked up. And he was about to decapitate Galahad with it later in the movie. That's such a cool. Listen, man, that's such a cool weapon for bad guys to use. I kind of wish. I mean, I'm not even gonna say what I'm gonna say, but I feel like this was a very good idea for them to use because it's not like a bad guy with a gun or a bad guy with just military training. This is a cowboy with a fucking lasso. No, this is.
He has military training too.
I mean, yeah, but they clearly bank on the other side of his character for that, and I was like, I give so much credit to this movie because that's some untapped territory that they went into to find something unique for. I feel like he's like a video game boss. You play some kind of video game and hey, this is the boss for the Western level or some shit. That's where I expect to see this guy. He's a fucking comic book character, and I completely like how over top it was. I can't give enough credit to how much I really like Whiskey Man. I wish he wasn't a bad guy, but whatever. It is what it is, and it was a decent twist. Not like a super mind blowing one, because Galahad kind of called it, but we just didn't know why.
Yeah, and I got his reasoning. He lost his family to drug addicts, so he was like, "Fuck them niggas." And I get his reasoning, but I just still think he went about it the wrong way.
I agree.
He's willing to kill a lot of people just because he felt like the people who killed his wife and kid didn't get what they deserve. And I get it. I fucking get it. I still I also I did like Tequila's scene. Oh, they thought they could take him.
Definitely wish he had more, because he only had that one action scene, and then he danced.
Well, yeah, because
the drugs.
He took some drugs. But yeah, Tequila fucked them up.
Yeah,
they were not prepared. They were like, "Oh, you nothing, blah blah blah," and then he fucked them up. And I was like, "Come on, Axie."
Didn't fire a single bullet.
Did not. He used the gun as a bat. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
And just fucked them over. And they lucky Ginger was there. Or they would have felt very permanent damage.
They'd have been pain. They'd have been in some pain.
There was some mutilation about to happen.
No, there'd been some. What do you call it now? Where the fire one is. It's about to get set on fire.
Yeah, but they're both. Isn't that mutilating someone?
No, mutilating is cutting it off. Incinerating is when you set it on fire.
Really?
Yep.
Mutilating has to be actually chopping a nigga?
I mean, either chopping or cutting, one of the two. But I'm pretty sure that he was just going to say, this stuff is flammable, and this is how we proved, back in the days, how pirates proved that things were, rum was.
It just means inflicting serious damage on something. So you don't have to cut it. It can be anything.
Well, I'm usually familiar with that word when it comes to like cutting things off.
Yeah, like in movies when they
But
say either way, their balls are about to be very seriously injured.
Mm-hmm.
No coming back. You couldn't replace that. Maybe you can. Plastic surgery thing, but I don't know.
They got the funds. I don't know.
Statement got funds on top of funds on top of funds. All right, they had like $4 billion.
Yeah.
So they are rich as fuck. I didn't really care for the Jeff Bridges cameo. He was the boss in Statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was interesting.
I didn't give a shit about him. So I would definitely say, hey, he's messing with me over here.
I'm keeping my hands to myself.
No, you're not. Anyway, I say check out Kingsman.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it was a really interesting movie, and I don't think you're gonna be bored.
Oh hell no. I feel like especially if you haven't seen the first one, definitely see the first one as well.
Yeah, because they do flash and they tell you what happened to Harry. They show clips. They even show clips of who Charlie is.
Yeah.
For people who never seen the first one.
Yeah.
So good job on that one. So I don't think you're gonna be lost or anything. I would definitely watch it. I liked every cameo they had except Elton John. He could just never be in the movie again. And I thought it was really good. Closing remarks, Mr. Bro.
See the prequel, see the sequel. It's a good buy.
Okay. I would say definitely see it. See both of them. I think you're gonna enjoy it if you like really high action movies. Or just to be simply entertained.
Stupidly over the top action, especially if you're into that kind of genre. Like, it's not a comic book movie, but it kind of has comic book themes in it because like how over the top shit is. Like Poppy, obviously, whiskey, obviously. Even hell, the both two Galahads, over the top. But it's stupid fun.
What's funny though? Even though it goes top, a lot of their moves look very realistic.
Oh yeah.
That's something I can't say about like Fast and Furious or even some of the comic book stuff when they do hand to hand. It doesn't really look realistic, but it's not supposed to be. These moves look realistic, but damn well you can't do them.
Yeah.
You're not doing these moves at all. So I thought good camera work, good acting, good directing. I would see it. Definitely see. And we're going to close out this podcast, guys. Leave comments. Were we too generous? Do you think we were tripping about our grades? We want to know what you think. You could contact us through email, of course. Give us suggestions. Let us know what you think of this podcast at echoundergroundpodcast@gmail.com. You can leave comments on our many websites. We're on SoundCloud. We're on Facebook. We're on iTunes. We're on a lot of podcasting apps as Echo Underground Podcast. You can tweet at us at Echo U Podcast because we want to know what you guys think of this movie. And you can also let us know, hey, maybe we should check out this movie or check out this suggestion or this TV show or this documentary. We're up for anything. And then we'll see you guys on the next episode.
See ya.
Bye.